It's HPR, All Things Considered, and I'm Dave Lawrence. Grateful you're with us. Huge mahalo. Today, sadly sending off another guest who we lost late last week, Eddie Palmieri. A Latin jazz master, piano monster. Eddie was 88 and a 9-time Grammy winner. 9 Grammys. And a career that spanned decades, National Endowment for the Arts' highest honor in jazz. And what an honor for us to have recorded a chat when he was coming here in 2012 for several concerts and classes.
Eddie Palmieri, aloha and mahalo, my brother. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, Dave, thank you for that wonderful introduction.
You are quite welcome. And what sort of repertoire can folks expect to hear when you guys play live?
Well, we'll play a little bit starting from Palmas, my first recording into Latin jazz. And we did 3 CDs. We did Palmas, Arete, and Vortex. So from each of those, we have a compositions plus other compositions that we have thrown in. It's a very exciting presentation because each composition contains what I call, and I learned scientifically after I learned it intuitively by listening to the great Cuban recordings starting in the 50s, 56 on to the 60s. I learned it scientifically with a teacher called Bob Bianco. When I studied some Joseph Schillinger system of music, which the Berklee School of Music was called the Schillinger House in Boston originally. It's called tension and resistance in the composition. And that happens when you put the rhythm section in a primary position, like a conga solo, a bongo solo, a timbal solo, after a piano solo, a bass solo. That creates tension and resistance that leads to an exciting musical climax. And Dave, we do that in every composition. It's going to be exciting. Whether I do it with the octet, septet, or the big band of 13 men that I traveled all over Europe this year, or the quartet, it's in there.
You're basically saying, so when you put the those percussive instruments into a primary spot and let them solo as if they were the piano or a horn or something, that is a tension building device. Is that
exactly? You use that in solos, you use that in introductions, and I love to do that in codas. Unbalancing action. You have to surrender to the gravitational pull of the earth, but I fight it. Instead of being a simple coda, I use a lot of upbeats like 1, 2, 3, 4, bow, 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 and those kind of shouts. And then you hear ba-da, ba-dum, ba. That's gonna get you out of your chair whether you like them or not.
That's just another example of less is more, is what you're saying.
Exactly. The more you know the rhythmical patterns, the more you're able to do that.
When you did the records with Tito Puente, like Masterpiece, what did you learn from a master like that? Who are some of your most important folks that you think influenced you musically that years later you were able to meet?
Well, what I learned, what I always knew, that he was the great bandstand warrior that we've ever had. Tito Puente was no joke on stage. Tito Puente was quite unique. My brother Charlie played with him for 2 or 3 years, recorded on piano with him. My brother was my influence, main influence. He was 9 years older than I. He was the pianist, and I was really the piano player.
I get it. Right.
And then I met Thelonious Monk. He came to hear the band once, and he was certainly an influence. Art Tatum, Bill Evans, one of my favorite. Bud Powell, which I saw in person with my brother. I saw the John Coltrane original quartet in the Birdland with Barry Rogers, who told me, I want you to hear something, let me know your opinion. Jimmy Garrison, McCoy Tyner, the drummer, what's his name?
Elvin Jones,
excuse me, and McCoy and John Coltrane on a Sunday, and it was really empty, the place. Now he sits down, and after he solos, a great solo, I guess he was figuring out the payroll or something. And McCoy took a solo and just kept soloing for maybe 20 minutes or something like that. And now when John Coltrane picks up his horn, he disappears and he goes in front, in the back again. Berlin had pillars so you couldn't see where he was going. And he went right in front of Elvin Jones. And now you could hear that, you can't see it, but you could hear the sax all over the place. So I was very fortunate who I was able to see. And when I played as a young man, I actually saw Charlie Parker play. At 15, I didn't know who they were. Charlie Ventura. I was always weaned in the Latin feel. I wanted to be a Latin orchestra leader. And my brother was with Tito Puente, and then eventually I played with Vicentico Valdez, that was Tito Puente's singer, Cuban, and I played with him for 2 years, from 56 to 58. Then I went with Tito Rodriguez, which was the rival of Tito Puente for many years. He was another great artist. He was a singer, but had always a great conjunto band, which meant 3 trumpets and then the rhythm section, timbales, conga, bongo, piano, bass, Tito singing. So those years, I was always wanted to be an orchestra leader, Latin. So then by 1956, I was made aware of all the Cuban bands that were coming out of Cuba by one of the percussionists, Mr. Manny Oquendo. Manny Oquendo was a great bongo player, and with Tito Puente, then with Tito Rodriguez recorded. And then when I made my band, he came and played with me in 1962. I got into jazz later, and by listening to all of them, though, I was able to come up with my own signature of playing, and helped me tremendously, and I can't thank him enough. Certainly Miles Davis, which I met and knew, and we closed the show for him in Montreux, Switzerland. Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, Mr. Bobby Timmons, which wrote Moaning. He used to come to the Village Gate. Dr. Billy Taylor, that we shared the bandstand when he played with me. Mr. McCoy Tyner, a mentor of mine. So all of that put together, I've been very blessed in my life that I've met them, that I've been able to play with them. And then bass players like Christian McBride, also I recorded with him, Donald Harrison. So all of that, Dave, helped me tremendously in my way of getting what we call, and it's very important to have your own personal signature. Donald Harrison, the great alto man from New Orleans, he's the chief, of these African tribes that his father left him because his father had 7 tribes. After he passed away, Donald now handles 2 or 3 from Mardi Gras. He puts on the Indian headgear and the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
And he told me, Eddie, you solo like a drummer. And that's because I was always a frustrated drummer. I wanted to be my brother's drummer until my brother told me, if you want to be a drummer, you got to learn all the drums. And at that time, you didn't come with just your sticks and your hi-hat. You had to carry all the drums. And I looked at that, and I saw myself with hernias all over. I said, well, that's the end of that. I went back to the piano.
Well, it is a percussion instrument anyway, at least.
That's right.
I got to wonder, all that musical knowledge and experience has led to 9 Grammys, right? Do I have it right, or am I missing?
So I have 9, and I've been nominated about 14 times. So in 1975, only 1 Grammy was given for the whole genre of Latin music and all the Latin jazz artists in the world. And there was only 1 in 75 and 1 in 76, and I won them both, Well, I've been very blessed, and it's always been an honor.
So I'm saying, are they all together on a wall?
Yeah, we have it in a break front, the Grammys. But one of the most treasured things I have are 2 little Hawaiian dances. One with a left hand broken. And I was in the Palladium Ballroom, coming out of the men's room, going to go play a set, and an Afro-American brother coming into the bathroom, and he stopped me for a minute. He said, Eddie Palmieri. I said, yeah. He said, I got to tell you, man, how I love your music. I just came from Vietnam, and you have no idea that we listen to your music in Vietnam. I just came home. And I said, oh, thank God you got home safe and alive, because you lost a lot of your brothers. And I wish I had something to give you to show you how I appreciate your music in my heart and what you've done for all of us. When we needed to hear something, we played your records. But the only thing I have is these 2 Hawaiian dances that I carried in Nam, and I'd like to give it to you as a gift. I treasure that more than anything I have.
Man, what a...
And he said, I carried them in Nam, and I would like to give them to you to thank you for all of us in Nam listening to your music. And I treasure that. I mean, you have no idea.
No, I hear you, brother. I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Well, that's a good note to end on. I give you a big hug. I hope that this was not a hassle doing this today. I really am.
No, man, are you kidding? It was a great, man, and you were great questions. and I wish you the very best. I want to meet you when I get there, right?
You bet. We'll figure something out and get together when you're in town.
I'd love to do it. Okay, thank you, Dave.
You be safe, brother.
A warm embrace.
Big aloha. See you soon.
Aloha.
Muñeca, quiero que me perdones. Muñeca, que no lo hago más. Me encontraste en los brazos de otra nena. Son diversiones que no valen nada. Muñeca, yo a ti te quiero mucho. Y si vuelves tendremos felicidad. Te daré mi cariño y mis besos. Y te juro que no lo hago más, mi mujer.